Okay, let's start to wrap things up here. It is my belief that evangelism in a postmodern society has some unique challenges, but great opportunities. When we realize that there's no shared understanding of who God is or what the words sin, salvation, Jesus means and stuff like that, we have the opportunity to be educators and to help people come to understand who God really is and what his plan is for them. So we have to assume that people know absolutely nothing and that the starting point is a long ways from Christ. I think we also need to realize that some kind of logical, rational, programmatic presentation can feel very canned or mechanical to people, and they can feel like there's some kind of a project, not a person that we really love and care about. So this is not to say we don't learn a presentation of the gospel. I still use the 4 spiritual laws, but it is so woven into my own story and to the stories of Jesus that I use that it doesn't come across as this canned, mechanical approach. As I've been saying over and over again, relationships are absolutely crucial. If the Word became flesh and blood and moved into the neighborhoods, so we have to move into people's neighborhoods, and we have to be a flesh and blood representative of the good news in that situation. So oftentimes it takes months or years of living the Christian life before somebody and with someone, before they are open to hearing our words. Our life and our works precede our words. And a lot of times, I haven't talked much about this, but belonging to a group, belonging to a small group, belonging to a ministry that you're doing to better the world can be absolutely helpful because people want to belong even before they believe. So remember the power of your story. Remember the power of your conversations and the relationships that you form with people. Remember the power of table fellowship, sitting down to eat together, to get together over a Coke or a cup of coffee, building relationships, listening until a true friendship is formed. And again, that becomes a bridge that the gospel can walk across. I think we also need to be bold in doing the stuff of the kingdom, works of compassion, works of healing, passing on the miraculous grace that God has for people. I have never had anybody turn me down when I've, asked if I could pray for them if they were sick or they were in a crisis or they had a need. Didn't matter if they were atheists. They appreciated the fact that I was willing to pray to this God that at least I believed in. And from time to time, God backed up those prayers and touched that person in such a tangible way, they knew that the living God had touched them. In the 21st century, where we need to establish the reality of God, proclaiming the kingdom of God, and then demonstrating that kingdom's reality by praying for the sick and, cleansing the leper and raising the dead and all those kind of works that Jesus talked about is crucial. And I make no bones about the fact that I believe we have to have a holy boldness, and we have to pray that God will back up our words by stretching forth his hand to save, heal, and deliver, and doing signs and wonders that will demonstrate, again, the reality of the kingdom of God. And through it all, remember that we are the message. Not the whole message, but we're part of the message. And we as a human being need to be good news in somebody else's life. Again, earning the right to engage in those conversations and then bring God into the conversation with the hopes that some will turn to Christ. Please don't make the mistake that I made earlier in my life of thinking that my life wasn't good enough to earn the right to evangelize. I kept waiting until I felt holier or more loving or more knowledgeable. I always felt like I was inadequate and needed something more. I found out that it was being who I am, being authentic, being quick even to apologize when I mess up, or being quick to confess my inadequacies and failures. That too can be part of the good news that we share with people, because sometimes people can look at us and say, well, Christianity is only for good people like you. But for someone who is struggling like me, or addicted, or broken, or divorced, or abused, I'm not good enough. And interestingly enough, my phone just rang, and it was a person that I have been seeking to minister to for quite some time. I've shared the gospel with her, I prayed with her, and realistically, she's come to trust me at a very deep level. And again, I have become good news in her life. And so she calls, she seeks input and direction in her life, and we have a growing relationship. Being the good news oftentimes precedes the ability to share that good news. So thank you very much for being a part of this course. I would appreciate your feedback if you could let me know. I realize that there are a number of things about this course that are kind of clunky because of my own inadequacies of working online. But I hope that you have sensed my heart. I hope that you have picked up some tools that can be helpful to you, because I believe that we're on the verge of a great spiritual awakening. There is a great harvest out there. Jesus said the fields are white under harvest. They're ripe and ready. The harvest is plentiful. It's not skimpy. It's not meager. It is plentiful. And we need to get out there into that harvest and appropriately share the good news and trust God to save as many people as He possibly can. So God bless you as you share the good news, as you live the good news, and may there be great fruit in the kingdom of heaven because of your endeavors.